Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. I'm here at Barubie Point at the northern end of Stockton Beach, and I'm at a place here where you can normally, under normal circumstances, see for miles and miles. This beach stretches 34 kilometres. But today we've got a sea fog that's just flowed in, and the visibility has been reduced somewhat. It's eerie, but it is beautiful. It is beautiful in its own way. So what I'll do is I'll go for a walk along the beach and do a walk and talk and take us through a book summary. And today's book summary is entitled Out of Our Minds by Sir Ken Robinson. So let's go for a bit of a walk and talk and see where it leads us on this eerie sort of start to the day. But it is beautiful. The powering of those waves is very relaxing, and we'll see what we learn and what we gain from this book. So I'll just turn the camera around. There we go. So, Out of Our Minds by Sir Ken Robinson. So what the author here talks to us about, and he makes a very valid point, a very powerful point to start his book. He says that the key to the future is to be curious, creative, and to basically welcome and to embrace uncertainty and constant challenge. If you have that sort of mindset, then the future is going to be a wonderful place for all people. But if you're stiff, if you're stagnant, if you hate change, you hate challenge, and you don't like to be curious, then the message from this author is that you're going to struggle. You struggle going into the future. Because what's happening in the world, and I'm sure that we can all attest to this, is that things are changing at a far greater and a far more rapid rate. Changes, evolution is happening faster and faster. And being creative, being innovative will give us all a creative edge, according to the author. Because the author talks about a thing called the law of accelerating returns. He is a Google scientist, so a futurist in many ways. And he says, and he reminds us, and he makes a point so that we all understand that things are not going to slow down. They're just going to increasingly accelerate and speed up. And if we think that our grandparents saw significant changes in their lifetime, or our great-grandparents, then our children and our grandchildren are going to see even greater changes in their lifetimes. We've had some momentous step-ups in our generation through some wonderful, powerful, intellectual people such as Bill Gates. I remember years ago when I was going for interviews at Microsoft. Incidentally, I didn't get the job, but I went to a number of interviews to get a job at Microsoft. I think it was 6 interviews, 8 hours worth of interviews. But I remember reading a book back then where Bill Gates was talking about the future, and he was saying back then, and it was quite funny and quite out there. I didn't believe it as I was reading it, but he was saying that at some point people will be walking around with devices in their hands that will be continually connected to a network where they can communicate with each other, with other people, visually, and all of these weird and wonderful things was his prediction. But it's only now, where I'm here walking on the beach, that I realise that that time has come. In less than 10 years, less than 20 years, I am a product of Bill Gates' vision. How Bill Gates basically changed the world through his activity, through his organisation, and spawned and created a springboard for many other organisations to grow and to become partners in this rapidly accelerating and beautiful world that we have today. The other thing that the author talks about here, which is quite remarkable, is that the iPhone, the regular iPhone that we all have these days, has more computing power than we had on the entire planet in 1940. Just think of that. You and I, our children, in our hands at this point in time, have more computing power than what the whole planet had in 1940, which kind of suggests that each and every one of us have no excuse to grow and develop and be the best versions of that we can be, because we have that power in our hands, and we've got that power here and now. I often say, when I was a kid, for me to learn something or to do a project at school, I needed to pick up my World Book Encyclopedia and basically read and try and comprehend, and then take that comprehension and then apply it in an essay or a project or wherever. I had to read. Whereas these days with the internet and Google, there is no limit to what you can learn, and the knowledge and information that is being loaded onto these platforms is doubling every year. Like, it's just a massive amount of information and data being captured on these platforms. And like in the old days, we had the libraries of Alexandria, which housed all the knowledge and all the information that had been captured up to that point in time. Today we have a plethora of information captured in all different languages, able to be translated and to be accessed by any one of the billions of people who are part of this Ethernet. You can collaborate with anybody anywhere in the world, and we've seen the benefits. We've seen the wonderful benefits of these technologies with the development of not one but up to six different vaccinations for COVID-19. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought 12 months ago that today we'd be in a position to have six, not one, but six independently developed vaccines available for the world to use to get on top of this pandemic, this COVID-19, which has basically run us ragged. So the other point that the author makes, I'm going to tell you, I've never seen the tide. I've never seen the tide so high here at Stockton Beach. It's all the way up to the sand dunes. It's just absolutely amazing. G'day, love. And as you can see, we've got runners, we've got walkers, making the most of this wonderful location. And it is a glorious and pristine part of the world. So the author then makes another powerful point that to gain in the future and to succeed in the future, you need to relax, relieve yourself of all the rules, make your own rules, because the rules that you had to govern your life leading up to today are not going to be relevant in the future. By all means, have virtues and values and principles, but when it comes to rules, then this water's coming up nice and close. Got to be careful I don't get my shoes wet. But yeah, it's all about being careful that you don't get caught up with rules that are no longer relevant or useful in this new world that we're currently enjoying. So this whole thing about creativity and being creative is very, very important, because creativity, according to the author, is applied imagination. You know, so what separates us humans from all the animals and the animal world is the fact that we can simulate our future. We can combine our past with our present, and we can be creative. Our imagination, man's imagination, is unlimited. So mentally, we can go backwards, we can go forwards, and we can live in the now. So we can flip-flop between past, present, and future, and create things with our imagination. And we can see things from other people's perspective. We can see things from other animals' perspectives. You know, we can basically simulate and use our imagination and our creativity to see the world and create our own reality before we even get there. We can experience events in our minds, in our mind's eye, that are yet to happen. And we have the power of creating ideas. And this power of creating ideas, which is being spawned by the internet, by the collaborative abilities of the internet, is going to continue to change and accelerate change. Because unlike the past, where you got 1 unit of gold and you worked it and you created something else and you created 1 unit of something else, the whole thing about ideas is it's very, very different, because one idea plus another idea doesn't create an idea. It can spawn millions and millions of ideas. So we can have other people sitting on our shoulders and leveraging the learnings of previous generations and being partners in each other's growth and development and creating significant amounts of leverage. So the last formal point that the author makes from this book is that a common mistake in creativity is that we have to let go of our rules and take the blame. You don't have to take the blame for anything. And you can come up with ideas, and if they and you don't need to take ownership of where those ideas lead and what those ideas basically impact and create. Because what happens is that if you have fear, if you worry about being blamed, then you're going to be limited in the ideas and the things that you come up with. So the author here says, what holds us back is fear of being blamed if our idea does not work. Because we also think that ideas and creativity create or equal chaos. But we're going to release and relieve ourselves of those shackles, that mindset, and just to be free to express ourselves, express our ideas. Just get out of the way of this water creeping up just behind me. Aha. And to dare to do something which is different, and to create your own empowering rules rather than live with the limits of the rules of the past. Because as we said, as we warned each other, the future is changing rapidly. We need to be sprinting and growing and developing every single day just to keep up. Those who cruise, those who take it easy, the people who just chase pleasure and happiness are going to be left behind. And this is what's spawned my Jim's 5am Club, to create a platform that will enable people to live, learn and pass it on, to leverage the knowledge, the OPE, the other people's experience, and to use it in our lives. I've created this to help people around us that may be looking for knowledge, for information, for wisdom, to help them grow and develop and to deal with their many challenges. So the last thing here that the author talks about is that we need to be flexible. We need to spread our wings and encourage others to do the same, to make the most, g'day love, to make the most of this world, to make the most of the technology that we have around us, and to make the most of the fact that the world is changing at a rapid rate, and that we all need to continue to change, but not necessarily just to change, but to improve, to get better, to be able to make the most of the opportunities that avail themselves. Anyway, let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's take some valuable lessons from this book and know that our future is going to be very, very different to our today. Even if we do nothing, the world is going to change with us or without us. So you have an opportunity right here and now to be partners in that change. To let me get out of the way here, this water's coming up quickly. Yep, oh shit. I think I got out of it there, just in time. Yeah, so we all have an opportunity to be partners in this growth and development, and to be agents in the change that we need to make. So thank you once again for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. And how do I get across here now? And to make the most of this Tuesday. So take care, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can live, learn and pass it on, where we can be partners in each other's development, where we can take lessons, the many wonderful lessons that are around us, lessons that are parts of the many books that have been written to capture other people's experiences, and we can use it to our own benefit. So let's live, learn, and pass it on. And I look forward to chatting to you again. So thank you very much once again. Sa sagapao, sa sektimao, and I'm just honoured that you've been part of my journey, part of this journey of growth and development. I'm well on my way to delivering my 1000th vlog over the next month or two. So take care. Yasas, kita leme. Bye bye. Cheers.